Bye, guys.
So part of what you're seeing is what we are coming to call Family Worship Sunday. And we're incorporating some of the elementary age students here during our time of worship and during our time of offering so that they get those foundational things of what worship is. You know, it's easy to check in your kid, have them go downstairs and not really know what they do down there. And we thought, hey, instead of sending the parents down there to see what they do down there, we're going to have them come up and take part in what we do up here. And you know what they did now for the first 25 minutes of Sunday Kids Church. All right? It's important that those foundational values get instilled in them, that this time of worship and this time of offering and what offering is, and seeing graduation Sunday so that they can strive for such a thing that's way out in the distance, right? Graduation. So we're talking third, fourth, fifth graders. They're looking forward to middle school, right? A first grader looking forward to second grade. They're not really thinking of what it's like to graduate high school. And I think that just goes back to Maggie's point about taking it slow and just really enjoying that point of life. And that can be said in every season of life. Of whether you're in first grade, enjoying that step to second grade, or whether you're graduating, enjoying that step to whatever life brings to you next, or that step of that season of being a young parent, or that season of being a parent of teenage. Wait, no, the season of being a teenage parent, you want that to go by fast. I forgot. I've heard from many that that's the one that you want to skip, right? No. But how true that is, and wherever you are in your season of life right now, just take a minute to breathe and enjoy it. Because God's teaching you something, and He's putting something inside of you for the next season of your life. And too many times we rush and we hurry and we don't even see it. But today, we're going to continue in our series called Building Blocks, and looking at the life of David. And David, like we have stated weeks in advance, started out as a shepherd and then became a harp player, and then was delivering some bread and some cheese, and saw this big guy named Goliath, right? And we all know the story of David and Goliath. But we're going to really look at something today when David faced Goliath, things that you might not have realized that we face every single day the same way David did when he came to battle Goliath, even though he didn't really know he was coming to battle Goliath. And it starts in 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 28 through 50. All right? There's a little bit of scripture today. It's not like it's a holiday weekend, people. All right? All right, we're gonna fly through it though. So, verse 28 says, "When Eliab, David's older brother, heard him speaking with the men, he burned with anger at him and asked, 'Why have you come down here? And with whom did you leave these few sheep in the desert? I know how conceited you are and how wicked your heart is. You came down only to watch the battle.' 'Now what have I done?' said David. 'Can't I even speak?' He then turned away to someone else and brought up the same matter. And the men answered him as before. What David said was overheard and reported to Saul, and Saul went to him. Saul sent for him." All right, let's stop there for a second. I'm going to apologize in advance to Kelly, who's running the slides, because I'm going to chop them up here a little bit. All right. What just happened? David showed up, and his brother did what? He accused him. He said, "What are you even here for? You're conceited. You're full of yourself. Your heart isn't in the right place, and all you've come is to watch this battle." How many of us in our life have showed up to do something good, to think we're doing something positive, and we're accused? We're handed this accusation that's not true, that isn't what our heart reflects, but we're faced with it. We're faced with it. Right then and there, David could have said, you know what? I'm not dealing with this. Good luck. And turned around and walked away. But no, David just said, can I even speak? Can I even speak? After being accused and then accused again of not being there for the right reasons, and his brother, who might just have a little bit of jealousy for his little brother, belittled him, accused him, said, you're not here for the right reasons. But David stood firm. David didn't leave. He stayed there. So now it gets even better when it continues and it says, David said to Saul after Saul sent for him, let no one lose heart on account of this Philistine. Your servant will go and fight him. Saul replied, you are not able to go out against this Philistine and fight him. You are only a boy. And he has been a fighting man from his youth. But David said to Saul, your servant has been keeping his father's sheep. When a lion or a bear came and carried off a sheep from the flock, I went after it, struck it, and rescued the sheep from its mouth. When it turned on me, I seized it by its hair, struck it, and killed it. Your servant has killed both the lion and the bear. This uncircumcised Philistine will be like one of them, because he has defied the armies of the living God. The Lord who delivered me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will deliver me from the hand of the Philistine. Saul said to David, go, and the Lord be with you. Okay, so let's go back. So first, he was accused by his brother of being there for the wrong reasons, being conceited, just being the little brother that tries to keep up with the big brother, right? So then Saul sends for him, and the first thing Saul says to him isn't anything of encouragement. He says, you're just a boy. He belittles him. He makes him small. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you that's going to fight this giant? You're just a boy. This giant has been trained ever since his youth to be a fighter. And you look over these measly sheep in the desert? Who are you? Strike two, right? David could have easily turned around and said, you're right, good luck. You're right, I am just a boy. No, what David does is he starts telling Saul how God has been faithful to him. He starts to tell Saul how he was struck down a bear and struck down a lion, and how God delivered him from the paw of a lion and the paw of a bear, and he's rescued his sheep, and he's done all of it. And what else could Saul say? The Lord be with you. Because you know, in Saul's mind, he's thinking, who is this little kid that's going to strike down this trained warrior giant? And I don't think there's anything I'm going to do to say to keep him out of there, so the Lord be with you. Good luck. We'll pick you up when you're done. After David turned away from his brother's accusation, he was faced with belittlement. How many of us have been there? You're not good enough. You're too old. You're too young. You're not smart enough. You're not skilled enough. You're just a high schooler. You're just a middle schooler. You're just in elementary school. You know what? You live in a retirement home. You can't do that. And how many of us would start to say, look at where God's been faithful in our life? Before you tell me that I can't, let me tell you what God has done. And then after I get done with all of that, then tell me if I can't. Because I'm pretty sure God's done this, and God's done this, and God's delivered me from this, and God's taken me from this, and God's saved me from this. See, each and every person sitting in this room is just like David. It's whether you choose to fight like David. It's whether you choose to approach life like David did. when he was accused, when he was belittled, he had nothing to say about what God has done. Not fight back, not argue, just simply share. This is what God has done, and I believe that he will continue to do things when I go stand out there against that giant. We talked about giants in your life, right? We talked about when you walk out this door, you're going to face the giant in your life. How many did it? How many walked out this door and looked at their giant face to face and said, I'm going to defeat you? I'm going to defeat you. See, I know you're there now. I know that you're trying to ruin my life, and I'm going to defeat you. Now, since you've said that, you're back, and I'm sure you've been accused, and I'm sure you've been belittled by that voice in your head. Saying, you're not good enough. You're not strong enough. I've been here too long. You're never going to defeat me. So what then? David walks out to the battlefield. It says, then Saul dressed David in his own tunic. He put a coat of armor on him and a bronze helmet on his head. David fastened on his sword and over the tunic and tried walking around, but he was not used to them. So that is pretty much saying, I can't carry this amount of weight. I'm not strong enough to put this armor on. I cannot go in these, he said to Saul, because I am not used to them. So he took them off. Then he took his staff in his hand, chose 5 smooth stones from the stream, put them in the pouch of his shepherd's bag, and with his sling in his hand, approached the Philistine. Meanwhile, the Philistine, with his shield bearer in front of him, kept coming closer to David. He looked David over and saw that he was only a boy. And he despised him. He looked at David and thought, oh, jeez, are you kidding me? Good try. Really, this is the best you got for me? And he started to walk towards him. Now, if you know anything about history, if he was trained, if Goliath was trained as a mighty warrior, he would have been trained with the sword. He would have had his armor on, he would have had a sword in his hand, and he would have been walking towards David. Now David, the one that wasn't strong enough to have the armor on, who took the armor off because he wasn't used to it, has a sling with 5 stones. No sword. He's trained with his sling and 5 stones. 5 stones and a sling, and a giant is walking towards you. He said to David, am I a dog that you come at me with sticks? And the Philistine cursed David by his gods. Come here, he said, I'll give you your flesh to the birds of the air and the beasts of the field. David said to the Philistine, you come against me with a sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. Imagine, you don't have to imagine it because it happens in your life, you're being provoked. So you were just accused, then you were belittled, and now you're provoked. And he's saying, hey, I'm going to spread your flesh to the birds and the beasts. Come here, little boy. Let's get this battle over with. You come at me with sticks? What's that going to do? You think you're big? You think you're strong? Come at me, little boy. We've all done it, right? Growing up, picking on the little kid, holding his head out here as he swings his arms. Am I the only one that did that? All right, call me a bully. I've been forgiven. But we've all been there. We've all been provoked. We've all said, come here, little boy. Oh, you think you can get me? Oh, ha, ha, ha. Right? And if you're on the other end of that, you never got retaliation for it, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But just think about David for a second. Think about his life story if we were to write it really quick. shepherd to harp player to deliverer of bread and cheese to being accused, belittled, and provoked.
And divorced.
Wouldn't you go home? Wouldn't you say, I've had enough? You know what? I wasn't invited to this fight. You're right, Saul. You didn't invite me. You're right, brothers. You didn't invite me. Here's your cheese. Here's your bread. I'm out of here. But he responds to Goliath by saying, I'm here with the Lord Almighty, the one you have defied. He said to King Saul, the Lord has done this in my life. The Lord delivered me from the bear and the lion. The Lord does this. The Lord does this. And I'm here with him. See, the Lord wasn't any different to David than he is to you. He's right there. It's whether you choose to see it. It's whether you choose to believe it. What do you do when your enemy is walking at you? You're standing at the battle line and the enemy is walking at you. Your enemy, the one that antagonizes you, the one that keeps you up at night, is walking at you and saying, here I come, and I win again. Because you're not good enough, you're not strong enough to defeat me.
Enemy.
It's the same giant that attacked David that it's attacking you every single day. It's whether you see it or not. Stop making excuses for the sin that is attacking you and defeat it. How did David defeat Goliath?
By slinging a stone.
With the Lord and by keeping his distance. If David would have walked up to Goliath into sword's distance, into javelin distance, he would be dead. But he kept his distance. He kept his distance to a point where he knew he could defeat the giant. And at that distance, he pulled back his sling, he put a stone in it, and he struck down his giant. He struck down his giant. See, we challenge you to fight your giant. But don't fight him harder. Fight him smarter. See, David would have lost if it was a hard battle. But David fought the smart battle. He surrounded himself with the Lord. And he said, I'm not coming close to you. He didn't say those words, he did it by his actions.
Trust.
He said, I'm going to strike down my giant from where I know I can, and I'm not going to let you get close to me because I know you'll defeat me. And how true is that in our own lives? Our giant is there. It's our choice how close we get to them. If your giant's the TV screen, don't get close to it. If your giant is the computer screen, don't get close to it. If your giant's the telephone, your text message, your Snapchat, your Facebook, don't get close to it.
Stay away.
Defeat your giant, not by working harder, but by working smarter. And cling tightly to the Lord and praise Him in every circumstance. See, David was accused, belittled, provoked, and he won. He was steadfast. He walked through it all. He said, I'm here because of the Lord. The Lord's done this, this, and this in my life. And I'm resting on the Lord because I'm not sure what I'm doing right here, but I'm going to fling this stone. The shepherd, the harp player, the warrior, giving thanks to God when he was the shepherd, Giving thanks to God when he was the harp player.
Yes.
Giving thanks to God when he was accused,
Yes.
belittled, mocked, provoked. And in the end,
Amen.
thanking God. See, the giant that you're thinking of in your head, because I know we're all alike. We've all just had this giant come into our head. Stay away from it. Defeat it from a distance. Surround yourself with God's Word. Look at God's promises. Look what God has done in your life. And defeat it. If you have a pen, I want you to take it out right now. And I know we give you plenty of paper when you walk in this place. Write on it. I'm not going to ask you to share it with anybody. I want you to write what your giant is so that you stay away from it. Now what's in your head right now, put it on paper and say, I'm going to defeat you, giant, from a distance.
Stay away from it.
You can accuse me, you can belittle me, you can provoke me, Satan, but I'm going to defeat you from a distance. If you have that person that when you succeed, they accuse you of cheating, so did David. Right? I know, have you ever played games with a 7 and a 6-year-old? Welcome to my life. 8 and 6 now. But no matter which one wins, the other one cheated. Not saying great game, you beat me, immediately turning to an accusation of how you cheated, you moved this, you didn't pick the right card, this is so unfair. It's the same way David's brother was to him. So as parents, let us find hope in the Scriptures.
Amen.
Siblings accuse siblings in Scripture. You have that friend that belittles you, they're not a friend. Be careful who you hang out with. If they tell you you're not good enough or you're not strong enough to defeat your enemy, to defeat your Goliath, your giant, I'm not telling you not to be friends with them, but I'm kind of telling you not to be friends with them. All right? Let them belittle themselves. Don't let them belittle you. You need encouragement when you're fighting giants. You need the Lord when you're fighting giants. And finally, I cannot emphasize it enough to keep your distance. If your giant is moving forward, closer to you, move away from it. If you think that you can't get rid of your giant, turn to the Lord and ask Him to come between you. Ask Him to give you space. But don't let it defeat you. Don't let it get close enough to you where it hasn't soared to you. May we all look at David's life as the sermon series comes to an end, and we look at the building blocks of how God builds you up and how God prepares you for awesome things. As we look at that, next week being the final week, as we look at that, rest. You're no different. You're just like David. When we look at and we celebrate graduation, and we look at these kids that are graduating, these young adults that are graduating high school, we know that there's building blocks. And you were there once too. Might be a long time ago, but you were there once. And you know what is coming in their life. And when I stand here and say it doesn't get easier, there's truth to that. Because there's more giants that come into your life. There's more insecurity. There's more belittlement. There's more accusations. And they need the Lord. And so do you. Do not let your giant defeat you. you pray with me? Oh, Father, we thank you that you gave us the story of David. That even though David and Goliath was so popular in your scriptures, because it's such an inspirational story, Lord, let us find hope. That through the hurt and the pain of this world, if we cling close to you, we can defeat our giants. Lord, let us battle through the belittlement and the accusations. Let us turn away from those that are provoking us.
Yes.
And find rest in your hands.
Peace.
Find rest that you are a good God. One that is walking alongside of us. Lord, I pray that if there are people in this room that are trying to defeat their giant, I pray that right now that you give them strength. Strength to stay at a distance. Strength to turn away when provoked. Lord, let them defeat their giants. Lord, that whatever you're stirring in their heart, continue to stir it when they walk out of this place. We love you. We thank you. It's in Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
Amen.